everybody. I hereby provide you with an overview on issues concerning fisheries data collection and data quality. Basically, through this presentation, I would like to draw your attention on 4 different aspects. The first is in relation to the selection of this segment in the context of the data submission of information concerning fishing activities. The second one is the bulk, I would say, of this presentation is represented by the feasibility phase for the application of quality indicators and its subsequent implementation on the DCRF platform. The third point is about the harmonization of existing GSM recommendations with the DCRF, just the ones that are outside the current framework of the DCRF. And finally, a quick zoom on the revision and classification of fishing gears, which will imply also a modification of the table of fishing effort for the calculation of related information in the new recommendation of fishing activities. So first of all, concerning the selection of this segment, just to recap a bit and refresh your memory that following the provision set in the recommendation, the submission of fishing data to the GSM, namely the 41/2017 number 6, CPCs are allowed to proceed with a request for a different level of aggregation of fish segments in order to properly report their data to the GSM. Following this procedure, every year the GSM Secretariat is used to send out a reminder on this specific aspect, and subsequent to this reminder, CPCs are used to reply with the submission of the list of fishing fish segments that were actively fishing in the GSM area. And this is a snapshot of the information that we received so far for this year. So 9 CPCs transmit information concerning the fish segments, so basically the list of fishing on active fishing vessels to the GSM without any type of changes comparing to the provision set in above mentioned recommendation. 3 CPCs, namely Croatia, Italy and Spain, submit a list of national fish segments with proposal for different aggregation. In all these 3 cases, information were provided in order to complement this request following the guidelines specified in the DCRF manual. And from 6 CPCs, we didn't receive any type of information. Now, the point is the same that we raised last year, so maybe we should further investigate this matter. So basically, according to the modus operandi of the SAC and what was expressed in the DCRF manual, the SAC is invited every year to review the proposed changes. But it's true that on the other hand, the current data submission calendar does not fit perfectly with the scheduling of the SAC. And therefore, alternative to review these parameters transmitted to the GSM should be considered for the future submissions. Now, the second part of this presentation is focused on the feasibility phase for the implementation of fisheries quality indicators on the DCRF platform. Just to recap a bit the history, and I hereby invite you to refer also to the document, the working document of the SAC, namely the number 22. In 2017, for the first time, the SAC recognized the importance of moving towards the adoption of fisheries data quality indicators in order to improve the level of the quality of the information received that are instrumental also for the working of the SAC and also the Commission taking its decisions. In 2018, it was agreed to start working on the implementation of these indicators on the basis of a feasibility phase that was just restricted to a set of CPCs that agreed to start submitting the information of their national fleet according to the temporary recommendations on the DCRF. Last year, the Commission decided to extend this feasibility phase to all the CPCs, also in consideration of the fact that the new recommendation was officially adopted and therefore becoming binding for all the CPCs, and therefore the Secretariat made a lot of effort in order to ensure the execution of this feasibility phase. So basically, we started implementing timeliness, completeness, conformity, stability, and consistency quality indicators to the fisheries information being transmitted by the CPCs for the reference year 2017. It was the first year in which all the CPCs were requested to transmit their data according to the SRF provisions. Subsequently, the Secretariat worked a lot on a specific R-based package in order to execute the application of these indicators, work on the implementation of consultation facilities, and after that, it also started making a disposal a dedicated section inside the SRF online platform where CPCs started consulting the results of this feasibility phase. Just to start giving some numbers, and again I invite you to refer to the pertinent document in order to retrieve further information on this specific topic. For the reference year 2017, we received 65,323 data rows, so a lot of work was done, and the analysis was probably carried out and reported through a series of data quality dashboard that I will show you later on. This is the snapshot of the document 22 where relevant information can be retrieved. So if you might be interested in a specific topic, you know that these are the key elements that are taken in the document itself. Behind the execution of the feasibility phase, we tried through a single slide to inform you about the entire workflow of the SRF. We know that it could be a quite complex concept, but it's important to understand also the actors that are in place in these important activities, namely the CPCs and the GFCM Secretariat in several aspects concerning compliance, IT, and statistics. So basically, every year, the GFCM Secretariats are putting at disposal dedicated Excel advanced tools for the submission of the data in line with the existing provision of the GFCM recommendation. Inside this Excel tool, there are several facilities in order to start processing the data inputted by the CPCs through the provision of serious information concerning the level of completeness and the conformity according to specific standard of the GFCM. CPC start working with these tools and then officially transmit to the platform. Subsequent to the transmission of this data, the SQL SRF database is populated and the specific R-based package developed by the Secretariat start processing this data and compiling data check results. Subsequent to this compilation, specific online dashboards are generated and stored into a secure environment within the SRF online platform, where consultation facilities are put at disposal to CPC. For example, they can navigate online the information they submitted together with the result of application of the specific indicators. They have filtering facilities and also export in Excel and PDF. My wording is hereby reproduced through this workflow that again could be quite complex, but we hopefully provide you with a clear snapshot of the processes from the data submission of the CPCs to the GFCM until the result back to the CPCs on the quality indicators. And this is the list of indicators that were applied with the definitions with which you should be now quite familiar. Some fine-tuning was made by the Secretariat in order to be coherent with the process followed in the feasibility phase. And this is an example of dashboard that is available for all the CPCs. Of course, each country can see its own dashboard for the time being, because for the time being is a vis-a-vis process with the GFCM Secretariat. So each single country can navigate this dashboard. and consult information reported and interact with the Secretariat in order to overcome any potential issues identified through the feasibility phase. This is an example of the overview dashboard. It was a dedicated dashboard that tried to combine the results of the application of different indicators to the single data set. Unfortunately, it's not so clear the image, but also I remind you that this presentation will be made available to you, so you may wish to download after in order to better analyze it. But again, for all of you, this information already available on the telephone platform, so I kindly invite you to access the platform and specifically the data quality section, so that you can have a look at your data, how it's been analyzed, and how the results are reproduced through this type of online dashboards. These are the results, the summary results of the application of quality indicators to the dataset received by the Secretariat for the reference year 2017. As you can see in orange, there are all the potential issues that have been identified. This is a summary, so basically there is not a breakdown by countries, and of course the number are the sum or an average of all the CPCs that in the MET transmit relevant information to the GFCM Secretariat. In numbers, the application of quality indicator national to the national data transmitted to the GCRF reveal the following. So concerning timeliness, first of all, 36% of the dataset were not transmitted to the GFCM, and 42% were communicated to us after the official deadline. The other number that are reproduced in the document are that among these 42 that were transmitted late, half of them were transmitted within 1 month, so at least in a time lapse that in a certain way was compatible with the working procedure of the GFCM. In terms of completeness, the quality check of the completeness encompasses 3 different levels of data analysis. One is the check of the received information versus the list of bit segments communicated at the beginning of the year to the GFCM, and what is called selection of GFCM segment. The second component is the check versus the selection of species that were not implemented into the feasibility phase, and the third one is represented by the check versus the mandatory fields. So from the point of view of the completeness, the situation was not so bad, I would say, although there are some problems concerning the selection of GFCM segments. Concerning mandatory fields, we detected a few cases in specific data sets. Concerning the application of the conformity indicator, you can see on the screen that 18% of the data rows were identified with potential issues. When we talk about potential issues, we talk about the use of wrong codifications or formats or values that are outside the predefined thresholds. Then we apply also the stability indicators, and this application revealed to us that 35% of data rows were detected with potential issues. So basically, values reported in 2017 were quite different in terms of fluctuation to the ones that reported to us in 2017. It's important to understand the stability indicators just identify potential issues, because it doesn't imply that data are reportedly wrong. It's just an alert to the country to say, look, comparing to the past for the same variable, the same combination of the same segment, we detected this fluctuation. So just pay attention and confirm if the data have been reported properly or not. Concerning the application of consistency, a lot of issues were identified, also because, as you will see later on in my conclusions, maybe it was the most complex indicator to be applied, not in terms of technical point of view, but because this implies, of course, the check of coherence across tables. And these indicators detect several potential issues. This is the snapshot of the situation concerning GSM subregions. So you can see where compiling on information received in the map area, the major quality issues were detected for data not transmitted, timeliness, completeness, conformity, stability, and consistency. And to conclude this important argument, I would say that the results that have been made available to the CPC through the dedicated online data quality section, as well as this document being prepared by the Secretariat, reveal that differences in data quality, of course, exist on different data topics, namely data tasks and subtasks. And we detect also differences across GSM subregions. From the timeliness point of view, we would like to underline that, of course, is a kind of responsibility of the CPCs in transmitting the national data to the GSM according to the existing obligation. In this specific regard, I would like to recall you the modus operandi of the last few years through which the GSM Secretariat started sending around the GSM the client reminder in order to refresh basically the memory of the CPCs concerning upcoming obligation for the transmission of relevant data according to existing GSM decisions. The complete and the application of the completeness presents a problematic situation specifically for aspects related to GSA segments. As anticipated before, the consistency indicator maybe was the most problematic one. We have an idea why this was the most complicated one, probably because we have to bear in mind that this specific recommendation requests a variety of data. Requests biological data, socioeconomic data, cash data, and we are fully aware that at the national level, different entities are in charge for the collection and submission of different data. So it may occur that, for example, not all the fleet segments were probably taken into consideration by the different institutions in charge at national level in transmitting this data. So this is a possible indication of a situation that was detected by the Secretariat. What is important to understand that this was a very huge work carried out by the Secretariat, but in collaboration with the CPCs, because a lot of effort was made in recent years by CPCs also in providing us with feedback concerning the preliminary application of this indicator through the Excel reporting forms. But of course, we have to move towards. We need to strengthen as much as possible coordinated action between the GSM and the CPCs. And we also put a lot of effort in aspects related especially to completeness and consistencies in order to overcome any quality potential issues. Because I was used to say potential because in certain cases it's just a matter of just fine-tuning the way we report the data rather than to complete the data with something that is missing. So we believe that this is just a starting point. It's not at the end of the process. So it will be important to identify clearly the next actions in order to work together and improve and let's say formalize this modus operandi of quality check of the data. I will try to be very quick in the last two slides. So the third topic that was missing in my presentation was the harmonization with the SRF reporting requirements. So basically the Secretariat made an analysis of all the data requirements requested by existing GSM recommendation that were out of the DCRF context, but they were at the other time recurring. So basically every year CPCs are requested specific information to be transmitted to the Secretariat. So following this analysis, we identified those data requirements that could be encompasses into the DCRF online platform so that CPCs will start having at disposal the same environment with which they are starting being familiar in recent years to transmit relevant information. So for example, you will see also this information available in Doc 2. The idea is to create another task within the DCRF one platform that the proposed name or its sub-regional topics in order to address recurring data submission obligation for the ADRC authorized vessel, Yabuka Pogonopip, Strait of Sicily, Levant Sea, Ionian Sea, and Red Coral. Finally, just to recap a bit the history, the GSCM is one of the international partners of the CWP, the Coordination Working Party on Fisheries Statistics, that is an international body in charge for moving towards the use of standard codification, definition in the field of both fisheries and aquaculture data collection. A revised classification of fishing year was adopted in recent years. We attend recently the last session of the CWP. No changes from the last were done by the CWP, and therefore we believe that it will be important to align our list of fishing year and therefore the table of the classification of fishing, calculation of fishing effort by fishing year to the revised CWP fishing year. We also made an analysis of the impact of this revision to the data received in the past, and fortunately we didn't detect any type of impact because these type of changes are either in the naming or in deleting some fishing year that were not reported to the GSCM. Sorry for the long time that it took, and I hope to have been provide you with the relevant information on this.